Okay. Namaste or Swagatam. In this 5,127th year of 28 Kali Yuga, in the lunar month of Chaitra, in the Shukla Paksh, which is the bright half, and on this day, Chaturthi, which is the fourth day of the lunar month. Before we start today, I'd like to call on Prisha Bogalji from Germany to chant up a Vedic prayer. Prisha ji, please go ahead.
Namaste. Namaste, everybody. Yogena chittasya padena vacham sharirasya javedyakena yopakarotam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi. I offer my salutations with folded hands to Patanjali, the most excellent amongst the sages, who gave us the science of yoga to purify our mind and consciousness, who gave us grammar for perfection of speech, and who gave us the science of medicine through Ayurveda to remove the impurities of the body. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Parishaji. You chanted the eulogy of Patanjali. But it appears that there are different Patanjalis. Patanjali who wrote Mahabhashya is a different person. And Patanjali who is belongs to the tradition of yoga is the different one. And Ayurveda, Patanjali is the different one, but because the names are same, so all these three texts have been assigned to the Mahabhashyakar Patanjali himself. But yeah, whatever you have said, it's there already, and the same shlok you have quoted. So now we would like to invite questions from our participants present here. Then we'll take up the written questions by Bhanuji.
Prof, namaste. This is Sindhu in Durban in South Africa.
Yes, Sindhuji.
Prof, you answered my first question about the three Patanjalis and the confusion that often arises. So that was the first question because Mahabhyas Patanjali is often confused with the Yoga Patanjali. So that's answered and taken care of the first question. Prof, my second question is based on the lecture that Yoga Darshana lecture 1, directly but not directly, because in the lecture you introducing Patanjali and yoga, obviously, so you're just touching on elements of detachment and disembodiment from of the soul. If we can touch on, Prof, what confuses a lot of people, and sometimes me as well, is the Semitic concept of eternal soul. Because see, in Vedic Dharma, we know it is birth, death, rebirth, death. It is cyclic. Punarjanma is one of the foundational principles of Vedic Dharma. We know that. So the soul is eternal in nature. In the Semitic religions, there is no rebirth. So the soul cannot be eternal per se. The soul is manufactured. Even then, there's some confusion because they're not sure whether it's at conception or at 9 weeks or 12 weeks, which is why there's so much of debate, particularly in the US, about the legality of abortion and at what stage and so forth. So maybe you can touch on the difference between the nature of the soul in Vedic system and Semitic system, and also a little bit on where we have Purushartha, where we have to work. You mentioned in the lecture about the devil climbing up and down the pole and the need to bring the mind under control. So, so we have an objective in Vedic Dharma, yet in the Semitic religion, they believe in predestination, that your kismat is written before you are born. So if you can just touch on the scientific differences and the logic between the two. Thanks, Guruji. Thanks, Namaste.
Yeah, it's a good question regarding Patanjali, no doubt. The author of Mahabharata, Patanjali, he was, you know, although people assign him some later dates, but according to my chronological calculations, he belonged to the Shunga dynasty. Shunga dynasty, because one of the Shunga king, he performed Ashwamedh Yag, and Patanjali mentions that. And Shunga dynasty's epoch is around 1200 BC. But the Mahabhashyakar Patanjali is very old, older than sometime he lived in Dwapara is, or we can say around 3000 BC, like that, or so he is the older one. But because the names are same and there is a confusion, so some author he composed a shloka, and whatever he is talking about the Ayurveda, we don't come across any text on Ayurveda written by Patanjali. Means it might have existed in the past, but we don't have any such extant text written by Patanjali on this Ayurveda or so. So this is how some controversial things, because ours is history is a very long history. So during this a long period, so many things they have got confused. It's not a some 2000, 5000 years old history. It's a very long history. So during that history, and Sankhya and Yoga, they are known as twin philosophies. In in Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna assigns the date to the Sankhya tradition is very in some a Krita Yuga or a Treta Yuga, like that. I don't exactly remember that shloka. So Sankhya is very old. Similarly, the Yoga tradition is very old, and this tradition, these six darsanas, they are known as Upangas. If I summarize the entire Vedic literature, Veda means Sanghita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and Upanishad. Then Upavedas, then Vedangas that Shiksha, Kalpa, Nirukta, Vyakarana, Chanda, and those Jyotisa. So in Kalpa Sutras also four types of sutras are there: Dharma Sutras, Shrauta Sutras, Smarta Sutras, and Sulva Sutras. Those Dharma Sutras, they cover entire Smriti books, just like Manu Smriti, Yajnavalkya Smriti, they are being covered in Dharma Sutras. Then Shrauta Yagas, whatever symbolic Vedic yagas are there, just like Soma Yaga, Atiratra Yaga, and all these, they symbolize some meaning. So their methodology, their entire framework is recorded in Shraut Sutras. And similarly, the Smarta, these Griha Sutras are there. Griha Sutras means whatever we find in the form of sanskaras, that is the Griha Sutra. Shrauta Sutra, Griha Sutra, Dharma Sutra, and Shulva Sutra. It belongs to the geometry, construction of altars, and all these things. It is defined over there. And then after that, the Upanga is there. These six systems of Vedic philosophical systems. So entire literature is covered within this framework. Then we start with epics, Puranas, and all this post-Vedic literature. So this tradition is very old. Patanjali tradition, yoga's tradition is as old as the Vedic tradition, But Patanjali is the last person in tradition to preserve this tradition. Similarly, in Sankhya, Kapil is the last person. He is not the originator of Sankhya. This tradition existed since the time of Vedas itself, but he is the last person to hold it. Patanjali is also the last person in grammar. Before him, there were so many grammarians. Brahma's grammar, Indra's grammar, Brihaspati's grammar. So he is the last person in the series. And when there is a long series, the person who becomes more dominant, whose text becomes more impressive, then he, just becomes dominant, and other shastra, other texts, ancient or prior to that, they gets fizzled out. So this happened in this long tradition. Uh, the same thing is with the Patanjali also. So now the question is the concept of soul in Vedic system and the Semitic religion. In Semitic religion, soul is not some eternal type of thing. Just like often now in most modern scientific language, a word is used, consciousness. There, soul means just some consciousness, just to awareness, means you can understand something, and that soul's origin takes place in the material system itself. So it's not some when the material is composed, creation takes place, and then this biological creation takes place, then the soul gets evolved within this system itself. So there is no, because the soul is not eternal, so there is no concept of a punarjanma also, because it dies along with the body itself. And you will be surprised to know that in the past 2000 years history of Europe, the women, they were not regarded as having soul. They thought that women, they doesn't have soul. So this type of concept also was prevalent. Whereas our system, Vedic philosophical system, says that all living beings, whether human beings, whether animal beings, or even the trees, they have all souls. They are at different plane of consciousness. So this is a bigger difference. Here, the soul, matter, and Brahman, they exist permanently, and the soul and matter is governed by Brahman, supervised by Brahman. But matter and soul, they are not independent. They are dependent upon Brahman. That is why the God or the Brahman has been called as the efficient cause. Efficient, without him, nothing can happen. Let there be matter, let there be soul. So when he will do something, then only they will become activated. So they are not independent. They are dependent upon Brahman. Yes, in our system, soul is independent for doing karma. Whatever karma you want to do, free will is there. You are quite free. But so far as the reward or the fruits of action will be provided, the soul has no power over it. So according to the Semitic system, these stars, they are going to hold your life, they are going to influence you. So their destiny is something else, what they called the fate, destiny. But our destiny, definition of destiny is different. Our destiny is made by our karmas done in the past life. So whatever we have done, that reward we have in our bank account. We are carrying it to this next life. When that bank account will be exhausted, so while doing new karmas in this life, that we are adding or subtracting. So in bank account, the money is there. There is no negative or positive money. But in karma's bank account, there are negative karmas, there are positive karmas. So your bank account, if you are doing more negative, that will start depleting. If you are doing more positive, then that will start adding up. So this is the whole system. And this karma and all these things, it depends upon our awareness. This mind plays a biggest role, is the strongest instrument with the Atman. Anything can be done. There is a popular shloka, Manah eva karanam bandha mokshayoho. This mind is the cause of your embodiment, and this may help you in disembodiment. Bandha means embodiment of soul. Although we say bondage, I don't use these words because these words sometimes convey a different type of sense, because this bondage and everything is used. The actual meaning is embodiment of soul. This embodiment may be in the human form, maybe in some other living creatures form. So that is embodiment. So mind plays the role in, for the soul, in getting embodied. Then how to get embodied? Without this physical body, without mind, the soul cannot get disembodied. So this is a great, you can say, an instrument with you, this body. Shariram adyam khalu dharma sadhanam. So whatever you want to do, that cannot be done without body, because body is doing actions. Soul is not doing any action. Even the soul doesn't have any motion in it. It cannot transfer from one place or move from one place to another place. It is only the causal body, astral body, or your stall body, that includes mind, this intelligence, and ahankara, sense of individuality. Ahankara is not ego. Don't translate like that. Sense of individuality. They help the soul in its movement from one place to another place, because this mind is a very fast mover. Immediately it can go to any planet, or it can go even beyond this universe. Had you traveled some another universe, then mind would take you immediately to that place. So this is the strongest instrument. It will help you doing all karmas. And what the Yoga Darshan says, it says you cannot control mind. Forcefully, nothing can be done. So, when he says Chitta Vritti Nirodha, means withdraw your attention from the material thing, and because the mind has to be united, it cannot live alone. If you will withdraw, if you are not going to withdraw it, so yoga means just to being united. So there are two types of yoga. Either the mind will keep united with the outside world, material world, and if you will try to withdraw it, then its movement will be inside. It will get united with the self. So Yoga Darshan says, okay, withdraw this instrument from the outside world and try to keep it united with the self. And when it will merge with the self, that is known as self-realization. And when self merges with the Brahman, that is known as Brahma realization. So whatever the words have been used in our Shastras, Brahma Gyan, Atma Gyan, this word Gyan is there, knowledge of Atman. Gyan is not the actual meaning. Don't say it knowledge. Gyan here means realization. Realization of soul. What the realization? That I'm not body, I'm different from this body, mind, intellect, individuality. So this type of realization should take place. Then you will get disembodied, or even in the body, you will get Jivan Mukti, attain Jivan Mukti, although you are getting this physical frame, but you are not attached to this outside world. So attachment will attract the attention of mind. So this detachment means distract your mind or withdraw your mind to the material world, although it has to be attached. It cannot remain without attachment. So vairagya there, detachment means withdrawal of mind from outside world and its attachment with the soul itself or inside world. So this is the difference. If you will understand it like this, then everything will become clear. There is no such problem. And one more important question you asked, that is Purushartha. Yes, it's important aspect because none of the civilizations in the world they thought about Purushartha. They defined the objective of the human life, but generally the people think eat, mate, and marry. That is only the Purushartha. So for this thing, for this all marrying happiness, means what they call as happiness, we don't call it happiness. Our definition of happiness is the spiritual happiness. If I'll actually define, though all the words are, when we say sukha, sukha means a spiritual happiness. But what does the other civilizations call as a sukha or happiness? Their happiness means comfort. In their own language, if I define it, that is comfort, giving comfort to this physical body by all material things, having, cozy beds, sofas, just to give this body a comfort. But while giving comfort to the body, you remain depressed, you are stressed, means you are nothing to do, you are nothing to give to your mind and to your soul. So what our happiness in Vedic philosophy language, happiness is to give comfort to the mind and soul. So that is the happiness. So we defined Purushartha. Purusharth means Purush mane human being, Arth means objective. Objective of the life of human being, because by accident, by his karmas, a human being got embodied. So it's main, because this human being, this soul is connected by nature to the Brahman. So when it is connected by nature to the Brahman, so its real place is Brahman himself. In Bhagavad Gita, a very good shloka is there. Krishna says, Mamaivansho, Mamaivansho Jiva Bhutaha Sanatana. Means this all Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, means this all eternal living creatures or the souls, embodied souls, they are the Ansha, they are some, they share some part of the Brahman, they are the Ansha of Brahman, they are not totally Brahman, but they share some attributes of Brahman. So what attribute the soul shares? Soul is Chetan, Brahma is Chetan. So this is the attribute that a soul shares with Brahman. Soul is Sat, eternal. Brahman is also eternal. So this attribute the soul shares with Brahman, but other attributes it's not sharing. So Brahman is all bliss, but the soul is not all bliss. Sometimes it feels pain, sometimes happiness. Brahman is all knowledge, but this soul is not all knowledge. For that it has to strive. So that is why, because it shares some qualities of Brahman. So the main objective of the soul or the Purusharth is to redeem or to realize all qualities of the Brahman, means going from individuality to the universality. This is the main objective, and for that main objective you will have to, three things you will have to pass, because when the soul comes in this world, first of all it requires some qualification, and that qualification will be attained by dharma. So Purusharth has four things: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So it needs knowledge, moral, ethical transformation. So that is done in brahmacharya life. After that, the soul need the grihastha life is there. There, if it enters the grihastha life, then it will enjoy artha, means earning artha, material resources based upon dharma, moral, ethical systems, not illegitimate means. And then kam, it can fulfill some of its legitimate desire, desire based upon dharma, ethical, moral system, not whatever you think you will try to fulfill it. So then you will become qualified for the moksha, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. And what happens? There two systems have been defined, nor general human beings, they cannot think of moksha, don't think of that. So our seer says go with the three varga means dharma, artha, and kama. Learn knowledge, spiritual knowledge, material knowledge, moral, ethical values, then earn earth based upon dharma, and try to fulfill your desire based upon dharma. But everybody can't do so. So live the concept of moksha. So who are some elevated beings? So for them we told that Chatur Varga is there, the Paramartha is there. That is Paramane final objective of the human life. And at Paramarthic level, there is a oneness with the Brahman. So that is how all these things have been defined, and entire Vedic literature, it has been composed with the centrality of this idea, Purushartha. Every book will help you to attain Purushartha. Even the Ramayana, when it documented, Valmiki documented the history of Rama, Ravan, and all these things, he describes the main purpose of Ramayana. He says, Ramadivata pravartitavyam na Ravanadivata. This Ramayana, this history of Ram has been written so that the people may follow the path of Ram and not the Ravana, because following the path of Rama will lead you or make you qualified for disembodiment of the soul, and following the path of Ravana will downgrade you to the lower species. Yes, next question.
Thanks. Thank you very much. A good comprehensive answer. Thank you.
Before we take the next question, I want to welcome Acharya Mitra Gangadin. Acharya Ji, welcome and thanks for joining us.
So also introduce Acharya Mitra Gangadinji. I'm not aware about it.
Acharya Mitra lives in Oshawa, just east of Toronto,
Okay.
and he has studied Vedic subjects in India.
Great.
So he's quite learned individual.
Good. So now we can go with the next question if anybody wants to ask.
Raviji?
Ji. Bhanuji, I'm
Yes, if
coming to
someone-
your question. Okay. Apart from these questions you want to ask, okay, ask.
Yeah, because if somebody else wants to ask, that's fine. It's just that sometimes in the literature I see they refer to the Jivatma and the soul, then the Atma, and then of course Brahman will follow. So can you explain this Jivatma? And when we talk about soul, are we talking about the Atma? It's a bit confusing for me.
Right.
Please explain.
Yeah, you know what's Atman means pure soul without embodiment. When we say Jiva means embodied soul. That's the simple difference. When we say jiva, means embodied soul. The souls, those have got bodies, whether they are at lower species or at human level. So Atman or soul or all these things, they just point out the pure soul without body.
So at some point, it's the Jivatma that becomes the Atman, isn't it? Through transition.
Yes, if a Jivatman get disembodied, it will remain as Atman. Jiv means the life, where the life will be there when body is there. So Atman, there is no need for life. Atman is always, Chetana. But this life concept of Jivan or life, it comes when the Atman gets embodied. When it gets body, then we say, oh, it's a living creature. It's non-living, like that. These concepts come when at the stage when Atman gets embodied. Just like when there is no creation, Brahman is Brahman. But when that creation is there, Brahman is known as Ishvara. Ishvara means whose powers, whose capabilities are manifested. Because who knows Ishvara if the creation is not there? When the creation is not there, then we can have an inference of the creator. No, he is Ishwar. Ishwar means who is very samarthyavan, who is capable, who is all powerful. But no, nor it's pure Brahman. So there's no difference. Only the difference of we can say the visual difference is there. When creation is there, then Kal is there. When creation is not, then the same Kal is known as Akal because there is no time. Time starts with the moment, with the motion in the universe. And when the motion comes in, then the creation starts. So Kal Sankhyanē, Kal Gatau. These are two roots. Kal Sankhyanē means to enumerate, and Kal Gatau means to move. To enumerate and to move. This Kal root has two meanings, and from the Kal root, the word Kal has formed. So Kal has basically two things. It starts with a motion in the universe and it can be calculated. It can be enumerated. Just like we do, this is day, this is night, 5 days, week, month, yuga. This is all calculation. And when it started with the origin of the sun, till the sun was not originated or the stars did not came into being, till that time, the Kal remains avyakta, unexpressed, unmanifest. When the stars are born, then Kal becomes manifest. We can calculate it. So this is the system. Atman, Paramatman, Jivatman. These are the simple differences. When Atman takes birth means Atman gets body. This embodiment, that's why I'm using the word embodiment and disembodiment. That gives you more clarity. And if you keep on using the word Jivatman, bondage, liberation, these words are senseless. They do not convey the actual philosophy, actual that notion behind the concept of the Atman.
Thank you.
So, any other question? Nor we'll start with the written questions.
Dr. Arya, can I ask you about a subject that I'm very fascinated about? It is related to Chitta, and you begin your written classes talking about the pure consciousness, Chit and Chitta. So they are different. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
Right. Actually, there are two words. Chitta means C-I-T, one single T, and another is C-I-double-T-A. Chitta, we call it Chitta. But generally, these are two words. So what's the difference between chitta and what's the difference between chitta? Chitta means chetana. Just like the material things are there, so immaterialness, chetana. This jiva, this atman and brahman, they are chitta. They are, if I say in modern terms, they are consciousness. But this consciousness is not the exact term. Consciousness just some type of uh, awareness in this body system. But that chitta means pure chetana. The word is pure chetana. And if I say one thing is material, so that is immaterial. Brahman and soul, they are immaterial. So those are chitta. And when the chitta starts, when the soul gets embodied, then it becomes its main instrument. As I told, the mind is the main instrument, and this mind has many functioning. It functions as an uh, as the notion of individuality. This mind functions as an intelligence because it will help you to decide what is right, what is wrong, some rationality, reasoning. And the mind also acts as the storehouse. Memory is there, memory is also with the mind. So this chitta, if I say in most modern term, mind that accommodates the memory, mind with the memory. Means how the memory comes. This mind gathers information from outside world or from inside world. Whatever information it gathers, that encoded into the mind, and that portion where this information gets embodied in the form of memory, that portion of mind is known as chitta. Chitta. So chitta means soul without body. Chitta means this mind with memory or having those memory cells in the mind, that is chitta. So two different concepts. If I say in simple language, chitta means soul, but Brahman is also chitta. And chitta means mind having memory. These are the main differences. So today, Claudia, I think everybody maybe not knowing, Claudia is also associated with our Vedic Science Virtual Vishwa Vidyapit. She is our secretary. She is from Ireland. And she is a teacher of yoga. She has a lot of interest in yoga and all these things. So, any other question?
Yeah, Acharyaji, I
Yes.
did have a question. You were talking about karma, and it seems like that concept is very confusing because there's a lot of terms.
Yeah.
So I've heard of Sanchit karma, Kriyaman karma, Prarabdha karma, Agami karma, and then you have other types of karma such as Nimitta karma, which you've spoken about, and the like. So perhaps can you shed some light on what the karma is, and maybe are there different classifications of karma, and how should we understand this?
Okay. You know what? When I say there are four types of karmas, nitya, kamya, naimittik, and prohibited, we are talking about kriyamana, what we are going to do in the present life. So, one concept is sanchit karmas, what we have, what the fruit we have accumulated in our bank account based upon our past karmas. So those are all sanchita. Prarabdha means, so what karma we have done in the past, that becomes, that is there in your store. So it is stored. So what happens, just like you have a big bank account, the money that was, uh, you know, deposited first, that will be start if you will withdraw the money from the account or withdraw the rewards from your account of the karmas, the reward that was deposited first, it will start. It is going to be utilized the first one. So first comes first go. So last come last go. So prarabdha means what karmas have started fruition, fruition of which past karmas has started. You are taking their rewards, those are known as prarabdha. Although they were in para, previous life, now they have arabdhaman, they have started depleting. You are enjoying or you are bearing their fruits. You have started bearing their fruits, that is prarabdha. Sanchit, prarabdha and kriyaman. What is going to be done by us in future? So these kriyaman karmas, they are nitya, naimittik, kamya and prohibited. Nitya means what you are supposed to do daily without fail. Kamya means when we do some act out to fulfill some of our desire. Then naimittik means if we do some acts on account of some reason, just like we celebrate our birthday, we do a marriage ceremony, so many things we with some purpose, with some nimitta, on account of some occasion, we perform certain activities, that is naimittik. And prohibited money, what has been prohibited in the Shastras. Don't do like that. Don't do violence against your co-brethren. Don't tell lie. Also, all these are prohibited karmas.
Thank you, Acharya. That's the first time I've actually heard how each of those falls into the category of
It's
Kriya
very
karma.
scientific. Everything is very scientific, well placed in our system. So,
Yes.
any other question? So now we can start with the written questions I received. As usual from Bhanuji. So the first, she gives first comment, as is pointed out in the video, interpreting a Vedic mantra is like decoding a multi-layered signal where sound, swara, chanda, nirukta, sandhi, grammar, context, deity, function, tradition, philosophy, darshan, bhashya all come into the focus and present a real challenge to the Vedic interpreters, no doubt. Because when we think of a mantra, it has some grammar associated with it, it has some context because it has been revealed or it has been announced in some context. It's not contextless. So, so far, the three things are most important. It's grammar, its context, the devata, the deity. Devata means the subject matter. If we know the some subject matter of the mantra, then we can immediately find out that this mantra is belonging to this subject. Suppose the Agni is the devata. Then we can know, okay, the subject matter of this mantra is Agni, but the question is, what is the interpretation of Agni? What is Agni? That is the main question. So, what is Agni? That can be understood with the help of the context also. And tradition plays a part because tradition is not this modern tradition, Vedic tradition is already encoded into Brahman text, Aranyak texts, and Upanishads, in Upangas, in six Indian systems of philosophy, in Vedangas, in Upavedas. So this is the tradition, and below it there is no tradition, and one more tradition is there, that is Puranas. Puranas encode the history of the universe, history of creation. So far as the history of creation is concerned, those portions of Puranas are valid, and whatever comes without history, some akhyanas, some story, that is all nonsensical. You do not believe that until and unless you have the correct knowledge, scientific knowledge behind that mythology. So main subject of Puranas is Sargaha, history of the creation, Pratisargaha, history of the decreation, Vansha, the lineage of heavenly bodies, Manvantra, the time calculation system, that is, and Vanshanucharitam. And in that lineage of the heavenly bodies, the later heavenly bodies that formed, just like we have a lineage in our galaxy. Our sun is at Orion line, Orion close to, we are the neighbors of the Orion Nakshatra. We live in the habitat of the Orion Nakshatra. So this is the lineage of sun. We belong to the Orion family. But then Vanshanu then sublineage. This Earth, Jupiter, Venus, Mars, and all these are the sublineage. We belong to the family of sun. So this type of thing, tradition, if we come across in the Puranas, that is valid. Otherwise, don't go by that. And similarly, philosophy, as I told, Upangas, they have played a vital role. And Bhashyas. Bhashya, there are two types of Bhashyas on the Vedas. One Bhashya is the literal translation along with some grammatical notations. Notations on swaras. What is Udatta, Anudatta, and Swarit. So this is a literal notation of mantra, the words of the mantras and their grammatical, just like we come across Sayana's Bhashya. So that is the literal translation with grammatical notations. So that is not Bhashya. In one way we can call that a Bhashya, but real Bhashya means interpretation. If you translate Agni as a fire, its literal meaning, it has nothing to do with the actual bhashya or the interpretation of the mantra. So interpretation is a different thing, and literal translation or the translation is a different thing. So actual bhashya, Vedas, if we want to understand them, we shall have to interpret those Devata. Just like Agni is there. Agni in cosmic level is energy. Agni at the level of earth is geothermal energy. When the Agni in this human body is concerned, that is digestive fire, your digestion system. So at different level, Agni has different interpretation. In societal level, the scholar who is full of the fire of knowledge, he is also Agni. The king at the political level, he is also Agni. So at different levels, the same deity, the same devata can be interpreted. That is the mantra, that is the actual meaning of the mantra. Because in Mimamsa, Purvimamsa, which deals with the karma system, it says Chodana Lakshano Artho Dharma. Chodana means Veda. The Lakshanic meaning of the Veda is its meaning. The Vedas meaning, you will have to, the symbolic meaning of the words. That is the real meaning of the Veda. So this Agni symbolizes different things at different levels. And that is why a very good philosophical term in Chandogya Upanishad we find that Yada Inde, Yad Ande, Tada Brahmande. Whatever exists at the macro level, the same exists at the micro level, at the body. In the body also, the same nakshatras and everything is Java Prithvi is also there in the body, upper part, lower part. Antariksha is also there. And the same thing exists in the cosmos. So different subjects can be interpreted with the help of these interpretations or the bhashyas. So that is the main difference. All come into focus and present a real challenge to the Vedic Hindu. Yes, it's a real challenge. Veda is not such an easy subject that anybody will come and teach you, because you will have to a great level of understanding. You will have to understand that parallelism at different level, because it has parallelism at metaphysical level, at astrophysical level, and the physical level. So this parallelism we shall have to understand, then only the mantras, Vedas can be interpreted. So first question, which layer or combination of layers seem to carry the weight of the meaning of the mantra? Yeah, I told it's devata, it's grammar, it's context, it's bhashya. These three, and whatever the tradition, entire tradition of Veda, Vedanga and Upanga and Upaveda, that is necessary. So Nirukta, one of the ancient Vedic scholar, he says, Bhuyo vidya prashasyo bhavati. A person who has the knowledge of all branches of the Vedas, he can interpret Veda easily and in a better way. Nor, if you know only grammar, you can't understand it. Only 25% part of the Veda is comprehensible through the grammar. So second question, given the possible variances in the interpretation of mantra by scholars, what is the learner's choice? You know, I'll just tell you one thing. There may be many interpretations. Whatever interpretation is, it has clarity. If that interpretation gives you some message, think that is correct. If some interpretation is there and no message is coming out, because these are the encoded knowledge system. So some message, if some interpreter has decoded, it means that is right. You can go by that. There is no one interpretation of the Vedic mantra. There may be many interpretations, but some good message must come out. If there is no message, that is absurd. That is useless interpretation, just making surmises, or we can say he doesn't have any knowledge. So it must give you some message. So the learner's choice, question 3, Rigveda, she has quoted one mantra, Agni Mile Purohitam, Yajnasya Devam Ritvijam, Hotaram Ratna Dhatamam. Just like this mantra is there, for example. So here Agni, as I told, Agni at different level is different things. At cosmic level, this is energy converting into matter and maintaining this entire cosmic system. It's the material cause. And Agni is also a Brahman. So as Brahman, this mantra will be interpreted Agni Mule Purohitam. Purohit means who is the leader. This Brahman is the leader. And Yajnasya Devam, he is the deity of this Yajna, main deity. Yajna means creation, the process of creation which goes on. This Brahman is the main Devata, supreme lord of this creation, Ritvism. And this creation is in cyclic way. It's not time after time it goes on. So Ritviz, like that, Hotaram Ratna Dhatma. And this creation, when it takes place, it embodies so many Ratnas, jewels in the whole Brahmanda. You see so many stars shining. These are all jewels. So that is in context of Brahman. If the same interpretation is done in context of Agni as energy, then the same thing. Because this energy is Purohita. As a material cause, this Agni is the precursor of the creation. Had there been no matter, no Prakriti, there would have been no creation. Because if you have some gold ornaments, so the gold has to be there. If there's no gold, you can't make the ornaments with gold. So if there's no matter, eternal matter existing in the universe, there can be no material creation. So just like at three places, it plays a role. At material level, Agni is matter, prakriti or energy. So this is also purohitam, yajyasya purohitam. It is the precursor of this process of creation. Similarly, if I take Agni as geothermal energy, then also Agni Mide Purohitam Yajnasya. Whatever life is coming on the earth, this geothermal energy is the precursor. Had this earth been a barren planet, just like the Mars, just like this moon, there would have been no life over it. And Hutaram Ratnadhatmam, and this geothermal energy, it gives you so many jewels. This whatever jewels we find, different type of diamond, all these things, this is caused by this geothermal energy. So that is its interpretation. That is also correct. And when I interpret it at physical level, astronomical level, I have interpreted this Agni is the sun, and this sun is also the Purohita of Yajna that is taking place on the earth. And it is the Huta and Deva, everything is there. So if I interpret it at social or physical level, then this I told the scholar, he is also Agni. He is the Purohit of Brahma Yajna. And Ratnadhatmam, he is going to have so many precious knowledge system embedded in his mind that he impart to others. And if Agni is the king, so whatever the Rashtra Yajna is going on, this political system is being maintained, the king or the ruler, he is the purohit of that. So these different meaning, it can be interpreted at so many levels, even at botanical level, geological level, whatever sociological level, because these mantras, they are not here to impart one single meaning, because the Veda, it embodies the all sciences, all knowledge system that can be derived through nature, that can exist on the earth, they can reflect everything. But I'm not saying that in one mantra everything means possible interpretations, right interpretations that can give some message or to you, those are all acceptable. There is no such problem. Now question 4, how did Swami Dayananda interpret Purohitam in this mantra as opposed to Vedanta and ritual Mimamsa? Purohita, the Pura Enam Dathe. Swami Dayananda has not given any some separate interpretation. It has already been interpreted by Yaska. Pura Enam Dadhe means what exists first in a system. When some system operates, so the first thing that requires for its operation, that is Purohita. But in general sense, we generally think Purohit means a priest who perform yajna, but mantras, they are nothing to do with such type of meanings. Purohit means that exists first in a particular system. Whatever the system is there, whether it is biological system, whether it is the social system, whether it is the educational system, whether it is some material system. So the first existing element without which nothing can move in that system, that is Purohita. So the fifth question, are there interpretive boundaries that must not be violated in the process of interpreting a mantra? Yes, certainly. Boundaries are there. As I told, these are all symbolize. All Vedic words, they represent some phenomenon, represent some part of that whole system that mantra is going to describe. So what boundaries you are not going to cross, the question is. Boundaries means when no sense is coming out and you are interpreting a mantra. Suppose a mantra is there. In the mantra says a person who knows uh, who knows the Who knows the path of birds flying in the sky, like that, those mantras are there. Who knows the path of the ship swimming or going in the sea. So these type of meanings are not there. There must be some exact meaning derived. It must give you some idea. So useless meanings cannot be there, and if you are not able to interpret, better say that I'm not able to interpret it. So any bhasha you go, if you find some meaningful interpretation, that's acceptable. So we cannot, so far as the meaningful interpretation is there and it is in consonance with grammar and all these things, that is acceptable. So boundaries are nirukta Brahman text. I'll tell you how the Brahmanas interpret. Brahmanas says, Akshatram va ashvaha. This ashva is kshatra. Agnirva, Agni Palasho Vai Brahma. This Plash is Brahma. So Plash is not Brahma. So Plash there, the Plash is a wood. Plash wood. It represents Brahman in that context. So it must be representing something, and literal meaning is not the meaning. That is, you can say, the boundary which we cannot violate. Doing a literal meaning is nonsensical. It must be interpretive meaning. It must symbolize some meaningful things. So despite the possible divergent interpretations of a mantra, what will constitute a minimal meaning that all scholars would be willing to accept? As I told, the simple, it must convey some meaningful sense. If it conveys some message or a sense, you can accept it. There is no harm. But if it is all, beyond grammatical rule and so, that is also not acceptable. So if the words are there, and on the basis of those words some interpretation has been done and that applies to the whole mantra, then there's no problem. It is acceptable. So I think these are only the 6 questions. If anybody wants to ask any question based upon this or that, he's welcome.
By Ravi, we have a question from Bhai Satish Ji in Mauritius.
Yeah.
He says, Professor Ji, thank you for explaining chit and chit.
Yeah.
Is it wrong to interpret that the mind is responsible to generate thoughts which can be positive or negative? But chit is the intellect which help us to discern between wrong and right. It is like the judge which tells us what is wrong and what is right.
Satish ji, I told mind is a combined name. You can use the word mind for all these things, but what part of the mind is going to decide right and wrong? That is known as buddhi. Buddhi part, intellect. Vyavashayatmika buddhi. Vyavashayatmika buddhi means giving you the exact knowledge based upon means of knowledge, pramanas, pratyaksha pramana, anumana pramana, arsha pramana, shabda pramana. Based upon these means of knowledge, giving you the decisive knowledge of a thing, that is the action function of buddhi, and that is also the part of mind. Because in English all these things are commonly called as mind, but in Sanskrit it is buddhi, mana, chitta, ahankara. Different names are there, but because this is we can say the limit of the English language, that we do not have all these things exactly defined. So all these things are defined as a mind. So that intellect or buddhi is the part of mind that helps you decide the things right from wrong.
Thank you, Guruji. We stay guided always by your guidance. Thank you so much.
So,
Okay, the floor is open again for any other questions, if there are any. If not, Derek, we have a new member today, Derek Chaitu. His hand is up. Derek, please go ahead.
yeah,
Namaste, Dr. Ravi Prakash. Namaste, Ashwini Ji.
namaste.
I'm introductory to a lot of these things, so I think at this point I'm just trying to wrap my hand around with even all the vast like even Vedanta, Adi Shankara, all the darshanas. So I'm getting very confused
Yeah,
with
yeah,
a lot
right.
at this point.
Yeah,
My first question would be though, I think what I get confused about a lot in interpreting the Vedas, and I don't know Sanskrit, I don't know Hindi. Um, so as you said, the different interpretations, whether it's literal, whether it's abstract, whether it's depending on the context, and using Agni, for example, and then with the other darshanas like Mimamsa and Yoga and Sankhya, how we view it, what I get confused on is, I know you mentioned it's more how it's interpreted, but then there's the function and the physical fire. I get confused. Like, if do I is it necessary to do rituals? Um, Physical aspect. Like, what does it do? Like, what is the interpretation of the Vedas with
yeah.
the maybe the Brahmanas explaining rituals versus the how yeah, I think I get
Yeah,
confused
no,
on
no.
that.
Your question is very serious, and it needs some response also. Ritual is not the objective of the Vedas. Through rituals, we just want to bring some knowledge outside. We just want to give explanation of the Vedic thought. Just like some Atiratra yaga is there. Atiratra is done for 5 days, that yaga. So that yaga is done, that shows you the difference between the civil year and the solar year. Civil year is generally 360 days. Solar year is 365 point some 6 hours. So the yaga, there is a discussion that if we'll do it for 5 days, it will be less than the mark. And so we must do it for 6 days. So it is telling to the common person, Atiratra means additional night you will have to add when you calculate, when you transfer from the civil year to the solar year. Similarly, the nakshatra sidereal year is there, that is some 374 days. So there is Atiratra Yag for 11 days. So you add some 11 days to the solar year, then it goes to the Atiratra. So this type of discussions are there. They are just symbolic. They are not the end of the Vedas. And so far as the six darshanas are there, simple meaning I will tell you, which you will not be able to confuse. Yoga darshan teaches you how to get disembodied, how the soul must come out of this body. The whole method and practical has been given by Yoga darshan. Sankhya Darshan is the theory of embodiment of the soul, how this body comes into bondage, means come gets the body. Nyaya Darshan is the research methodology, just to gain knowledge, just like you do research today. So some research methodology you follow. So yeah, Nyaya means the research methodology that was prescribed by the seers for attaining knowledge, doing research. Now the Vaisheshika is the physics and metaphysics of the existing universe. So there is no confusion between these darshan granthas. Then Purvimamsa. Purvimamsa means actions done by human being. Their action, generally people translate karma kanda as a ritual. It's not ritual. Action of the Brahman is also there, because his action is creation. He give thrust to the motion in creation, and this creation gets manifested, and its base that material cause is Prakriti. So that is the action of Brahman. Just similarly, the human actions are there. Human actions means whatever you will do, it must be in consonance with the Purushartha, so that your actions should not violate the system that will hinder your moksha. So whatever, and it includes even the technology also. Technology is also the human action, that is Purvamimamsa. The first, when a human being will born, he will have to act. So how to act? So those have been defined there. Then Uttar Mimamsa is the final, the supreme power that is controlling this whole system, that is Vedanta. Vedanta means end of the Veda, end of the knowledge. When the end will come, when the very purpose of that knowledge is fulfilled, then it is not required. So when you go to the moksha, then this knowledge is no longer required, because you have achieved your goal. And that Vedanta, that teaching of the Vedanta is in Upanishads. That's why it says Vedanto Nam Upanishada Pramanam. So this is the whole sequential system. There is no such confusion in it. And so far the mantras interpretations are concerned, they must relate. Just Agni telling fire, and just fire is Ritva is Purohit. It's not the sense. It's not sensical. The fire is not precursor. It is not first placed in the system. Now, that is the last place on the earth. The human beings, they burnt the fire, but actual fire in this cosmos, it is there with the sun. So that is how the things have to be interpreted, and every mantra has a name of Devata, name of Chanda, name of Devata, name of Swara, like that it is there, name of Shir. So that Devata is not some deity or god or goddesses. Devata means subject matter of the mantra. So if the Devata is Indra, Varuna, we shall have to understand what this Varuna is, what this Varuna represents in within our body, in the cosmic system, and in any system can have a Varuna. So far as the water regulatory system is there, that is Varuna. These are the principles. These are not proper names, mind it. These are the principles. These are not the proper names. Indra is the leader of the system, that leads the system. So this is how we can interpret it perfectly. But yes, I agree, such type of interpretations are rare. So far, we are getting only the literal translations of the mantras. That's why everything is appearing confusing, and the people, they don't want to go beyond ritualism. This is a medieval concept, cobwebbed, or you can say this was made by the illiterate Brahmanas. They never knew this system. Only in 19th century it was tried to be revived. So lot of confusion is there, and it's not because of you don't have the knowledge of Sanskrit. This confusion is created by the translators, interpreters. So you should not hold yourself responsible for all these things. Yes, knowledge of Sanskrit is required, but that knowledge of Sanskrit that is required, that is not enough for understanding this whole, to come out of this entire cobweb. Its network is very vast. You will have to go by some good translations of the Shastras. So that we have done. We have produced the translation of Yoga Darshan, Sankhya, Vaisheshik, so that people may understand so many things we have done. So need to follow some right translations, so that we may reach some conclusion.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that comprehensive answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Helps a lot.
Yeah. So any other question?
I think that's it for today. So,
Bhai, can I ask a quick question on
yeah,
interpretation?
go ahead. Go
Yes,
ahead.
Bhanuji.
I didn't realize I was muted. I muted myself. Once Raviji in a Hindi class, there was a visiting Vedic priest, and we were chanting opening prayers, among which we ended up with, I don't know if it's a sloka or a mantra, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara. And then he told us we should never say this. So I was so surprised. And I think he even said that this mantra is prohibited by Swami Dayanand. I said, why? And then he said, well, you cannot divide Brahman into these three parts. So up to today, I've been wrestling with this thing and I don't understand. I still hear it in my yoga class. I join with India every day. They chant, Prisha ji chanted what may be an invocation to Patanjali. We chant it every day. And then at the end, the yoga class also chants this mantra that we were told, and by a second Vedic priest too, that we should never chant this. So why is this? What is wrong with this?
Nothing is wrong. When the schools of different gurus started, somebody composed it. Because just like some chairman of a math is there, and he has so many followers. So for that purpose, so that you may believe your guru, but this blind belief, it may lead you to the misguided system also. So nothing wrong if you say Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu. Means Guru has neither become Brahma nor has become Vishnu. Just like the people say, I am Atma Brahma. When I say I am Atma Brahma or I am Brahmasmi, that never means that I have become Brahman. I am Brahmasmi, I am established in Brahman. So when we say Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, he is just equaling, he is just comparing the qualities of a good guru with all these things. If a guru has qualities with Brahma, like Vishnu, Brahma is Brahma, generator of universe. If the guru is generates knowledge, gives you good knowledge, it's like Brahma. If Vishnu, he sustains, but that he imparts you some sustainable knowledge, the knowledge that is helpful in sustaining this universe is just like Vishnu. So these are those things, just matra, you can say some eulogy stuti, but actual stuti, who is the Mahaguru, Guru Nam Guru, who is the Guru of Gurus, he is a Brahman. So instead of doing eulogy of some individual beings, no doubt they may be more knowledgeable to you, but the actual stuti, actual prarthana, upasana, worship, who is worshipable, that Brahman is worshipable. A guru is not worshipable. A guru is a person who has some higher knowledge than you. In our Smriti texts, Guru has got a big place. Acharya comes at the first place. Then Upadhyaya comes at the second place. And at the third place, Guru comes. Guru may be some person who is having higher knowledge than you. Where you get confused, he may give you some guidance. So your mother is also Guru. Your father is also your Guru. Your grandfather and some elderly persons in the society. Guru means who is senior to you. So that is Guru. So you can't start eulogizing a senior person as Brahma or that way. But if you eulogize your mother, she is your Guru. The father, Acharya. So in our Upanishadic terms, Matri Devo Bhava, Pitri Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. There is no Guru name. This Guru tradition in Manusmriti, Guru is the third one. In the tradition, first one is Acharya, then Upadhyaya, then Guru. And highest Guru that way is the mother. Acharya Now, this Upadhyaya, Upadhyaya is 5 times greater than Guru. Acharya is 10 times greater than Upadhyaya. Father is 100 times greater than Acharya. And mother is 1,000 times greater than father. So that way, if you do this eulogy, then some mother comes first. So these are the traditional things. I'm not going to criticize all these things, but I'm telling you the fact, how it came into being. Just like somebody is running ashram. So he would like that everybody should obey me, go by my directions, should they have some faith in me. So these shlokas, they were composed. This is not some Vedic shloka or comes from any scriptural texts. It's general shloka available. So if you do so, nothing wrong. And if you don't do so, no harm is going to take place. It's your choice.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay, we have another question from Derek. Derek, please go ahead.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sorry, I'm not too sure how long these classes go till, but
No,
one
they
quick question.
generally, keep on going until everybody is satisfied.
Okay. I have two quick questions. I guess the first one is a quick follow-up to what you were just talking about. Something came up recently actually when I go to any mandir or anywhere we go. I noticed the mantras we say, or I wouldn't even say mantras, the shlokas we say, or um sto I can't pronounce it, but the prayers that we say,
Stotras. Stotras,
stotra.
they know, stotra.
Right. So a lot of it aren't Shruti. They're not Vedic. They're not Upanishadic. I assume they're just like in English. I can pray to God anyhow I want, and then maybe it got popularized. And it came up like, what is the origin of Tumeva Mata Chapita Tumeva? So a lot of people can't like figure like not that they can't figure it out, but a lot of people like, oh, it's just brushed off. It's like, oh, it's something like whatever. But a lot of pundits I've asked as well, and it's not really there's nothing substance wise they can't show me something that it's come from X, Y, and Z. And I kind of know it's not Shruti. But would that fall into the same thing? Like certain ones just get more popular and we all just, as a congregation, we pray the same, or even at the end of the service, are these just generic things, that generic types of sorry, not mantras, but prayers that got popularized and we just it's just societal sort of thing?
No, all these things, what does they show? They show the surrender. You have become so
Mm.
humble before the Brahman. You start, Tvameva Mata, you are my mother, you are my father. This shows the humbleness of a devotee towards God or towards whatever it is. So if you chant, it's known as a stuti. You have become so
Oh.
humble, you have surrendered yourself. So you are just showing that no, I'm nothing, but everything, you are everything. And so far as you don't have this type of surrender, but sometime you may surrender yourself to a wrong guru. So he will start misguiding you. So for Brahman, before Brahman, you can surrender yourself. But do not surrender in such a way to a human being, whether he's your acharya or a teacher. In Kathopanishad, when a student does graduation and he goes to the home, some convocation address is there. And their acharya says, Yani yani asmakam duritani tani yani asmakam sucharitani tani tavayopashyani no itarani. Whatever good acts we have done, you follow them, not otherwise. Because as a human being, even an acharya, a guru, he can do so many bad things. He may have krodha, he may have moha, anger, and all these means mundane, worldly, whatever a common human being they are having. And a guru may have a greed for money, for showmanship, and for big cars and all these things. If he has this type of attitude, he's a simple man. He's
Right.
not contented because that santosha has to be there. So if a person may not meet, a human being may not meet all such qualities. And if he's not meeting all these qualities, surrendering before him becomes a harmful thing. So it was advised that surrender before that Almighty Brahman and read the Shastras. Why the Shastra? The books written by seers, rishis. There is no selfish motive in those things. Their motive is just to impart the right knowledge. But a book written by a human being or by some guru, he may install himself as a highest one. Just like there are so many
Right.
schools, Shaivas, Vaishnavas, Daivi Sampradayas. Everybody is saying, I'm higher, I'm higher. So unnecessary, a competition has been created.
Right.
So to avoid that competition and to go to the right place, the surrender before Almighty is proper. Just like Krishna is there. Krishna says to Arjuna, you surrender before me. Now you are confused, you whatever I say, you do it as a yogi, as a higher level. Suppose you are confused and you are not able to do what, so you go to some senior fellow, some your teacher or some your grandfather or like that. That what he will say generally, he will say, you leave everything. What you have in your mind, you leave it. What I say, you do that. But just only the solution. So that is how the Krishna is also telling. So this is the styles. But these are
Right.
not the philosophical, framework.
Right.
So these are some things. These indicate that if you are confused, you do that. But actually, if you want to surrender, surrender before that Almighty. He is for your surrender. Don't surrender to any human being. He may mislead you because he may be also endowed with so many, lower qualities.
Okay, no, thank you. And I have one other question. I heard you mention the Manusmriti. So, I don't know if it's the translation, it's the modern society, so many things that I found a lot problematic with the Manusmriti.
Yeah.
But I also noticed in this Satyarth Prakash a lot of reference that Swami Dayanand he references the Manusmriti a lot as well. So I think I get confused there.
Right.
Is it
No, you are
parts
right
or
because just like I'm saying in Puranas, in our
Mhm.
later texts, lot of
Mhm.
interpolations are there. In
Oh, okay.
Manusmriti also, out of 2000 slokas, around 1200 slokas are interpolated. It's
Oh, okay.
Its actual translation I have brought out. It is in two
Mhm.
volumes. If you will
Okay.
go by that, you won't find any misleading statements.
Okay.
In medieval period, so many people out of selfish interest, they have added so many shlokas. In
Uh-huh.
Veda mantras cannot be composed. That's very complex to compose, but Sanskrit sloka is very easy to be composed. Even
Uh,
anybody having a literary knowledge, just like you compose some poems, na? So
mhm.
these are the poems. Anybody may compose. So they composed,
Okay.
inserted. Sometimes these type of misguiding statements were composed under the pressure of the then
Mm,
rulers of that period.
right.
So Swami Dayananda, whatever he has quoted in Satyarth, they
Mhm.
are flawless. They are not
Okay.
misinterpretations.
Mhm.
Rest of the you simply think, I am an author or you are an author. Can you say the conflicting things in your book? At one side, you are
Shouldn't.
eulogizing the importance of women. At
Mhm. Right.
another side, you are just criticizing them. This is not happening. So,
Right.
whatever all these contradictory statements are there,
Mhm.
so the positive things are the author's own, and whatever contradictory negative things are there, they are interpolations. So such interpolation, free addition, I have brought out. That's what I'm saying. It's not the fault by the readers, it's the fault of the translators. They are introducing you to the wrong subjects, absurd things in the name of those texts.
Fine, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And if you ask Pandit Vikrant, he will give you a good example of even an interpolation of Satya Prakash. He brought it to our attention, So anyway, if there are no more